Hello, friends. Today is Thursday, July 5th, and it's a beautiful day in Minneapolis. We are at the park, the Minnehaha Falls, and there's sea salt and a bunch of really great greenery, scenery here. So while I have you, I wanted to let you know what's been going on. I've been doing a lot of research on inpatient and outpatient programs for mental health, and what the inpatient program would be, what it would look like would be, let's say, between 3 days, 2 weeks, and let's say 90 days. So I've looked into 3 or 4 different programs for that, and they all seem legit. And I've looked at some YouTube videos too, which is kind of nice, because when I have questions about things, I can turn to YouTube usually and say, hey, what's this place like, or what's that place like? And people tend to make testimonies about their experience at places, and that really helps, especially when it's like this, in a setting where somebody is the receiver, has been the receiver of the services, and then either, complaints are just as valid as praises, I feel like, in terms of things like that. But when it comes to care, it's pretty important, obviously, to have some understanding of how these programs work. So, for example, there's Regions, Allina, let's see, Prairie Care, Cedar Riverside, and all of these different places have different programs that allow a patient to make a decision about what's best for them. And as far as my care is concerned, I wanted to stick with a holistic approach without use of chemicals or the inpatient thing really freaked me out, and it still freaks me out, because for someone with anxiety and depression, one of the last things that we want to do is to be out of control. And of course, that might be what might be best for me right now, is to just surrender and let myself have that direction from a professional. But so I went to a couple different appointments this morning, and one of them was an assessment from the Fraser Evaluation Center, and their opinion and their scope is that they ask these questions, they find out about PTSD and what sort of remedies a patient needs, and then they can make recommendations, but more than anything, they can give a diagnosis. And that's pretty much where I'm at, is that if there was such a thing as collecting social security for mental health reasons, how would you go about doing that? And I think that one of the number one ways to do that is probably to have a clear and bona fide diagnosis that makes a little bit more sense and would obviously come from a professional. It's not like you know, the therapist that I see isn't a professional, or the couples therapist that I see isn't a professional, or the nurse practitioner who provides the medication for me isn't a professional. But in terms of a diagnosis that is recognizable for the expertise of it, that's what they do. They do diagnoses, and they can give you a piece of paper that says, okay, here's where you're at, and then you can kind of work with that on your own, or make the decision on your own about what you want to do. And I'm trusting that if there was someone who said, okay, this is what I think you should do, I would do that. But I saw my talk therapist this morning, and she and I just work alone, so it's not like we, it's not my couples therapist. So when she and I talk to each other, we talk about what's going on with me and what's best for me. And so I told her, hey, I'm doing all this research, and I'm getting some stuff done. I'm looking for jobs. I'm meditating when I can, and I'm also, you know, taking care of the house. And she asked me, why do you want to go to an inpatient program? And I said, well, I feel like it's not just that I need the inpatient program or outpatient program. It's more like I want to take this time to get work done so that I can be done with it. So it's like the sooner I start it, the sooner I can be done with it. And so she was like, okay, it sounds like you have your answer already. And of course, you know, I had to remind myself, okay, well, I was just at my sister's on Friday, and what I tend to do when I go to my sister's is I clean. And I clean to distract myself. Or I might start a project to distract myself. And what I'm trying to do is get as far away from focusing on my issues as I possibly can. And that's not healthy. So it's gonna be better for me, it's gonna work better for me if I don't focus so much time and energy on the actual inpatient or outpatient programs. I need to focus on my meditation practice. I need to focus on spending time with my son, spending time with my husband. I need to focus on my healing and do it in a way that's going to be effective for me. And what my therapist was saying was, you know, set up a schedule, give yourself some time to make it clear what it is that you're going to do with your day. And even though you want very badly to put your effort into seeing results, doing it super fast, that is not going to help you. And that's not going to really help anybody, because if you think about it, you're trying to hurry healing. What? That don't make no sense. So, I think my point is that what I really need to focus on is making the healing work for me and letting go of the need to be busy. So I'm gonna leave it at that, because right now I think it's really important for me to remember that I'm human and I can only do so much in a day, and it's also going to be fine if I relax. I don't really do a lot of writing. I don't really paint as much as I used to. I have the opportunity now to take yoga classes or to even go to a meditation group. So I can do those things and be a part of those things to help myself heal. And as I get those things going, I will let you know how they are going. And with the help of a therapist, a talk therapist, a psychiatrist, somebody who will prescribe the right thing for me, the couples therapist who will help me work through my relationships, my relationship with my husband and my relationship with my son and the rest of my family, basically, then I think that should be enough for right now to focus on, and to let that healing run its course and not to hurry it. So I'm getting close to 12 minutes, so I'm going to say goodbye, and I appreciate you watching. So like and subscribe if you can. I would love it. Take care.